Hey nerds, it's Wildfire1. I just want to kind of warn you guys about this podcast. We did something a little different this time around. As you can tell, we're doing it on the Goonies, and we decided to do it our way. We took a shot every time the words One Eyed Willy or Willy was said. So by the end of the podcast, we were pretty drunk. We were feeling good, no pain. So more or less, if we're everywhere, that's why. If we're excessively cursing, that's why. We're feeling no pain. So with that said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and go on with the show. Don't say I didn't warn you.
The end breaks the Goonies.
You ready for it? Here we are, hanging on strings of greens and blues. Break the chain and we break down. It's not real.
You don't feel it.
Unspoken expectations, ideas you used to play with.
They finally taken shape
for us.
Good enough. You is good enough. For me, it's good enough.
It's good enough for me.
Yeah.
Nerd is the new sexy.
Big Boss episode. All right, hello nerds. I'm Wildfire1. You're listening to Nerds New Sexy. This is episode 90. We're doing a little different this time, as usual. With me today is.
I'm bouncing my boobies.
Stop
Pumping my pegs.
Who are you, fucker? Let them know who you are.
I am the Big P Rock.
You've heard his voice before. Now you're hearing him live. My good buddy P Rock.
Put my nerd on.
This is another good friend of mine. What's your name?
Poppy Peg.
Hashtag pound sign, bitches.
Hashtag pound sign. Represent.
Pound sign.
All right, guys. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. We're a little drunk.
Wait, what? Wait, hold on. One Eyed Willy.
One Eyed Willy, guys.
One Eyed Willy. One Eyed Willy.
And that's the thing.
You're my boy.
We
One
just
Eyed
watched.
Wait. Oh shit! Somebody said it again.
God damn it. Okay, that's the thing. The podcast topic is what, P Rock?
It's One Eyed Willy.
The Goonies.
The Goonies. We just watched the Goonies.
The Goonies.
As adults. I mean, last time I've seen the Goonies I was like 16. You?
I saw it 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I'd say I was about 16. Yeah.
16 years old.
But it was released in 85.
85.
And I'm
85.
older than Methuselah.
1985.
Older than Methuselah.
So 85 it was released. Really good movie. We love the movie. So that's what this boss episode is.
We're not gonna lie. I mean, there's been some other YouTube videos and podcasts and different things about the Goonies and where are they now and everything else like that. But I don't think they touch base a little bit. And correct me where I'm wrong. I mean, they've touched base a little bit, but I don't think anybody really dives into the nostalgia or what it meant for our generation. People,
our generation,
in their mid 30s to 40s to, you know what I mean?
Oh,
45.
you know what?
Anywhere between 35, 45 years old.
Mm-hmm. And all those other podcasts sucked. So there's that.
Hey, hashtag why you gotta be offensive, homie? Why you gotta be offensive?
It's better that way.
Hashtag
pound sign.
All right, guys. So we watched it, and the joke is he keeps saying One Eyed Willy. The joke is
He said One Eyed Willy.
God damn
I heard him.
I think they're picking up on what the problem was.
The thing is
I said it twice.
Oh
shit.
crap.
The wife said it twice. There's a wife back
Oh,
there. Luckily,
right.
mine's
I
not
can't
here.
do that.
Or else
So-
it'd be even worse.
The thing is, if you guys haven't picked up on it already, it's One Eyed Willy. Every time it's said in the movie, we
He
drank.
said One Eyed Willy.
He's empty. I'll make more.
And so P Rock went off on a quest to make more drinks for Wyld himself and hashtag. And while he was away, this happened.
Just bleep it out.
Oh, I thought we were having a moment.
I licked your head and then slapped it.
Gosh, you know what? Mark that off the bucket list.
I haven't seen it since I was like 16, like I said. Honestly, what did you think watching it again?
Honestly, I was like, That's why I loved this movie, because it's freaking badass.
So much nostalgia. Like,
I'm like, okay, totally. I want to get some gold doubloons and sell on a fucking ship from the 1600s now.
yeah.
You want to get what blooms?
Gold doubloons and sell on a ship. And I totally want to play fucking what's that game?
Mousetrap.
Mousetrap. Oh my god, I want to play Mousetrap now.
Okay,
because
there's a
hold
reason.
on.
mostly
we'll get to
because
that.
short round.
We will get
That's
that.
why I'm
Because
going
of
to
short
play
round,
because
yeah.
of short round.
What is a gold blue mountain? Fuck is that?
What a gold doubloon is basically currency from that time.
What happened to my drink?
He's working.
Wrong.
He's working. Wrong.
You know what?
What I really.
What? God damn it.
Son of a mama bitch.
When did we make it to the point where someone
know,
said
but
it?
Hold on, I gotta crawl up on your lap to make it in here. Hold on. Oh, I feel something on my leg. All right.
We watched the whole movie, okay?
And we
can
got
smell
drunk
it.
at the
And-
same time.
And the whole time, every time someone said One Eyed Willy, we took a drink.
a drink.
We took a drink. So, yeah, I just said it, didn't I?
Oh,
Is that strong?
It's pretty strong.
I'm glad I'm drinking.
it's probably watered
We're
down.
between buzzed and drunk.
You know what? It's fun. You know
it's
what? It's
great.
fun. But I'll tell you what. I think we brought up a lot of good points.
Yeah.
A lot.
Ooh,
of
we
good
looked
stuff.
up a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
good
we
stuff,
looked. We
too.
looked a lot of good stuff.
We should have recorded while we were watching
That would have
it.
been a great idea.
Oh, opening scenes. Okay. You know what? Fucking hashtag pound sign over there has a little bit of insight when it comes to prisons.
Hashtag pound sign. I used to be a big bad correctional officer.
Okay, so tell me what was wrong with that opening scene with,
What was wrong
with
with
the
it?
whole the guy
With the-
pretending to
with
hang himself.
Yeah.
What would be the proper protocol right there?
Anyways, so opening scene of the Goonies where the guy is they walk into the cell and he's hanging supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
You don't go in there by yourself because that shit don't happen. I know that because I was a CO for a while and I've actually had to cut guys down. They were trying to legit hang themselves. You don't go in the cell by yourself. You go in the cell with a whole team plus a supervisor and all this other shit.
So you're saying there's a whole fucking procedure?
Yes.
Some butt fuck wouldn't be going in there and going,
No.
"Oh, look at you fucking schmuck," because that's what the note said, right? You fucking
you
schmuck.
fucking schmuck.
You fucking schmuck.
Like you're a fucking dildo that's never been
Well,
used.
and the only reason I bring that up, is I think, in Wildfire, we were talking was like, now that we're adults and like,
now that we're
unfortunately,
adults, I realize how many times I said shit in that movie.
Yeah, big time. But we'll
Holy
get to that.
crap.
We'll get to
We
that.
should have made that our
Yeah.
drinking word.
Yeah, we should have actually.
Oh
we'd
my
be
God.
way
We'd
too
be
drunk.
we'd be so drunk we wouldn't be doing the podcast.
But
right now.
that's one of those things where it's like, it's one of the things you notice. You were the first, that wouldn't happen. You're like watching, you're like, that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
That motherfucker wouldn't be going to the cell. Blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? Like it's fucking.
I'd have hosed his ass down with pepper spray just to make sure he wasn't faking it.
This is one of those situations that when you were a kid, you could believe much more than you were an adult.
Well, yeah, and a lot. Well, no, wait though. The problem is when I watched it from a nostalgia standpoint, I still had some of the same questions
Totally
today
picture, yeah.
that I did then. Like, why do they call them Goonies?
Yeah. Well,
They-
that's
but-
a big question. No one knew why there were Goonies.
I mean, you could GTS, you could Google that shit if you don't know what GTS
And you
is.
Googled it, so
why?
tell us.
And here's the thing: is in we were watching the movie. I'm talking the Goondocks. So they were the Goonies. They did a fucking horrible job. And this shows like our generation. We accepted nicknames and titles and everything in a storyline in a movie way too easily.
Yeah.
Like, I did not know they were called the Goonies, and like when he's
So-
like, "You Goonies,"
Yeah,
like,
with that one
because they
scene.
were from a certain
Yeah.
part of town.
Yeah.
You don't.
So no,
and get
you're
the fuck
getting
out.
ahead of yourself. You're getting ahead of yourself. Why
No,
are they
that
called
was-
the Goonies?
Because they're from the Goondocks.
Well,
They're-
explain
okay,
why
okay.
you found that out.
So the Goondocks was an area of homes that were being bought out, and this is another thing that's not explained well enough. The reason why they're getting kicked out and worrying about having all this money and shit. Oh, GTS.
We got pound signs
Yeah. So
wife to think for this right now. She was supposed to.
anyway, so there's gonna be these
I'm married.
or
that means I get to have sex.
Here's the thing. Theoretically, in the movie, if you didn't pick up on it, they are being bought out. They have to get out of there, right? They have to get out of their little situation. So here's the thing. So they have to get out of there. But what they don't explain to you is exactly what's going on. I guess at some point you hear there's a golf course, there's this, there's that. No one says anything about eminent domain, and I guess this is where fucking being older comes into play. But I remember as a child, I just accepted the storyline. They had to leave out of there, had something to do with money.
Yeah.
They had to get out, and they're called the Goonies. For some fucking reason, they're called the Goonies.
Yeah, we didn't know why they were called the Goonies.
But what I'm saying, if this was a fucking series on Netflix,
We just
right?
took-
Because let's face it, if Goonies was rebooted tomorrow, and I don't want to dive down a rabbit hole, but if it was re-fucking booted tomorrow,
Don't do this.
Do not fuck.
Don't do
You know
this.
what? I'm gonna skull fuck a motherfucker if they do it. But
Don't
listen,
fucking do this. Would you want to just reboot?
Fuck no.
stay with me here.
Don't
Stay
fix
here with
shit
me
that
because they
ain't
already have
broken.
Stranger Things, which is a mix of Goonies, Stand By Me, Poltergeist, fucking Silent Hill. So here's the thing. If Goonies was to be made today, it would be not a movie.
I got
It would
like
be a
an
series
8
on Netflix. Do you agree?
Yeah, I
Or
agree.
Hulu. Probably Netflix. Yeah, is I guarantee you today, because kids sit and watch a show with a smartphone and they'll look shit up at the same time, you got the attention of the fucking content on the TV. I can't even say television because
No,
it's not
you
live
can't
and
even
linear.
say
It's over the
television
top. And then they will do a better job explaining why they're called the Goonies, exactly what's happening, and they'll turn that shit into an episode.
Yeah, they will.
They would turn that shit into an episode. But back in our day, back in our fucking shit, they're called the Goonies. They got to move out, blah blah blah, and they just rush that shit.
No, they didn't.
And we
explain it all.
accept it, right?
We accepted it.
We
because
accepted it. It's fucking done.
They were the Goonies.
They were the Goonies. We didn't fucking care
what it
why.
was.
Not because they're from the Goondocks and blah blah blah. There would be an episode on Netflix called Season 1, Episode 2, Goondocks.
Yeah.
And within that episode, they would fucking call it, or
they'd
explain why they're the
it.
Goonies.
They would explain it. So we just talked about the first scene, right? Right?
Yeah.
The first scene, which is kind of bullshit, but at the same time, we didn't see it as bullshit.
Well, we talk about the first scene. We talk about why they're called the Goonies.
So-
I didn't realize why they were called the Goonies.
At that point,
The Goondocks,
yeah.
right?
Well, I didn't
things
know
that aren't
that.
explained.
Did
And
you
you know
know?
what? As an adult, I didn't give a shit. I just knew they were the Goonies. Right? I just knew.
Yeah.
I only just now asked
Well,
myself,
yeah.
well, why the fuck
You
are they
didn't
called
question.
the Goonies?
You didn't question it.
If back in the 80s, when you owned that movie, if you really wanted to figure out why they were called the Goonies, you would have to sit with a VHS, probably that only had a rewind feature, not a fast forward feature.
Okay, but he's right. You in the 80s, you only had a VCR.
Right, and sometimes it only had a rewind and not fast forward. Remember those?
Yeah, of course I remember
Yeah.
those.
In fact, you would have a VCR that played, and you would have a separate machine that fucking fast forward. Or no, that rewound.
Yeah, yeah.
You would take it out of your eject, put it in this machine to rewind, and put it back in the play machine.
And hope it
Did
would work.
One Eyed Willy have anything to do with it?
Again, One Eyed Willy, guys.
If the Goonies was a storyline today, there's a ton of shit that would have been explained more. Who the kids were, what backgrounds they fucking come from, and if here's what boggles my mind. If you watch the first, I think I know it is the first 7 minutes because we had to fucking turn it off because we kept laughing and shit.
Yeah.
First 7 minutes. The first 7 minutes of the Goonies. The first 7 minutes.
The first
They
thing
actually
was
paint
Cyndi
us
Lauper.
enough of a storyline for our generation.
That's true.
Because we had to use our fucking imaginations
That's
more than
true.
fucking kids do today. They showed Mouth. Remember, his dad was probably a plumber. Maybe he was a
what was
blue
the
collar.
actor's name?
Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman.
All these different characters, and they're and God, it probably was maybe 5 seconds of what they probably like, and that was enough for us to make up our minds of what that character was.
What our favorite character was in general.
Right, and they all developed later on in the storyline. But what I find fascinating is people today, when they sit down and watch content, not like the Goonies, right? They have to fucking be involved and get all these explanations to develop the fucking character in
No, you're
3
getting-
fucking episodes.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
Damn it!
Calm down.
You know what? I'm used to ranting.
It's okay.
I'm used to ranting.
I gotta give him his medication. The thing is it's different today from it was back when we were.
We didn't need that much.
We needed a minute amount of explanation. Like, okay, Mouth
We
is
know
my favorite
how to
character.
use our mind.
And Rock said something earlier on in the actual movie when we were watching it, in of course Goonies, when we were watching it, that really kind of hit me hard. A lot of the kids wanted to mimic Mouth, who was of course Corey Feldman's character. As far as Mouth goes, he's one of those characters that everyone wants to mimic. right? Wouldn't you say as a kid you wanted to mimic?
Oh yeah, I
him?
wouldn't be a
No, I think that it's a character that everyone wanted to mimic, and there's those of us that did the fucking stupid thing and actually did mimic his
Oh
ass.
yeah. Going on from that point in the show,
We were talking about how everyone wanted to mimic Mouth.
there is that one scene in the beginning where Mouth puts his tongue through the and that's hashtag's wife laughing her ass off. Puts his tongue through the fucking thing like, give me a kiss. Oh,
Tell me when they go up to the attic.
yeah.
a woman.
They go up to the attic. No, and I think, well, here's the thing.
It's a pivotal part of the movie. You're right.
It's a pivotal part of the movie, and there's a lot of different reasons why this movie is so nostalgic and resonates with people of our generation.
It reminds you of your friends at that time.
It reminds them of their friends at that time, and I think what this movie does with a lot of don't, and I think with a lot others don't. Hence the booze talking there.
Yeah,
I think that, and you kind of argued this, and I'm sure you're right, but I think we're both right.
Well, I want to hear what you have to say.
I truly believe that there's really no other movies like this that really actually captivate and capture I would say the hearts or desires of young boys or adolescent men to go on an adventure. It really ignites something. You're like, I'm going to pay attention. Damn, this is cool. The map they found, the music, the this, the that, the other thing, you know what I mean? The adventure, the danger. There's, even today, boys seek that type of fucking adventure and everything else. There's not many movies, and you can't tell, oh, this movie has this action and blood and blah. Yeah. It was so simple. You know what it was? It was realistic. You're in a house, you're in a situation, your house is being sold, you go to the attic, you find this old map. And it's old, you can go find the rich stuff of One Eyed Willy.
The rich stuff, One Eyed Willy, guys.
Treasure, right? And all this stuff, like, oh, let's do this. You know what? You want to know what scene I think is fucking beautiful? Not just great, but beautiful. They're sitting there because, well, two different scenes as they relate, but this one's really great. His older brother's there, and we talked about this. They paint the picture of him being kind of the jerk, whatever. But
especially
but as we're
yeah.
older, and we'll dive into this later, he's just actually acting like an older brother that has to be responsible. Still giving his little brother a hard time, but he's really not being as big of a dick as we thought he was when we were kids, right?
No,
not really.
No.
Right. So they're sitting there like, and Mouth is like, maybe there's some rich stuff up there that we can see, and Mikey was like, no. But his older brother was like, he was one of the first ones that shot up out of his seat to go to the attic.
That's right. We talked about that.
Right.
He didn't even stop. He
didn't even say boom. He goes right up to the attic because he was obviously older. Well, let's say 16 because he hated the fact that he didn't have a car, right? Uh-huh. I mean, I think they did drop those hints a couple times. But he was one of the first ones to that attic. It just shows the desire and the awesomeness of what it ignites in boys. You know what I mean? Like, damn, get up there and let's have an adventure.
Everyone wanted to have this kind of adventure. That's what it was.
And you know what's funny is I
Right?
do not think that it ends in the 80s.
At one point, what did we say at this movie? At the one point in this movie, we said what? We said we would love to go to, what's that town called? Astoria.
Oh yeah, there's all these different towns.
Oregon. It's in Oregon, guys. Astoria, Oregon. We would love to go to, and
Just to see
maybe
some
we
of these
will.
little different, these different areas. See what areas were filmed and where.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think, again, it goes with the nostalgia of it, but I think that it speaks to the desires and the things of our generation and everything else, and I think that it's great. So, but okay,
What kid doesn't want to have an adventure?
Right. Well, let's push
Right?
pause there. You said.
seriously.
But remember, you said on the flip side, you said to play devil's advocate. There's been plenty of movies and plenty of things that have since.
true.
But what can we? Because my argument is, the Goonies was realistic.
And I'm glad you're bringing this up.
Yeah. The Goonies is
I'm
real.
glad you're bringing this up.
It's realistic. It's simple. Everyone can relate to it. All it was a simple. You're getting bought out. I'm climbing up to the basement to find the things that my father had
How
up
do you
there.
climb up
and
to
then
the basement?
on a ladder.
You mean
to the
addict,
basement.
addict, not basement.
I've
Basement's
never heard of a
addict.
basement.
Oh no, you have to climb to it. But
Guys.
your father has put there.
One Eyed Willy.
Oh shit.
It's a trivia question.
So give us a question.
The Goonies find the ship of which pirate?
One Eyed Willy.
That was on purpose.
That was on purpose. You know,
Not
Let's
cool,
come
babe.
back.
thing.
Right.
But-
So here's the thing. Like I said, my argument is,
So, yeah.
it's very simple. You climb up to an attic.
In this case, it was a room that they couldn't go to. So
Right.
it was secret.
Yeah,
It
and
was
then did you guys notice that even the mom was like, okay, this is the attic where the kids are not supposed to be, and
But
that's why the
that's what I'm
door's
saying. It
always
triggers
open.
something in the hearts
And that's
of young
why
men in
the door's
general.
always open
That's
because
a-
they're not supposed to be there.
Man,
so guess what?
you know what?
Guess where them fools is always at.
Oh yeah, I
Right.
kind of agree
Look,
with you there.
And again,
Because they went up there, no
people
fucking
our
problem.
age when we were kids, that's a fucking first
Yeah,
place.
tell
we're
me
gonna
no.
go.
The first place.
The
you
Tell
fuck
me
went.
outta
no.
here. One of the other things is, I think what was great was right when they got up there, right? No, but think about it. What was great was I love the reactions when they get up there. The reaction is, look at all this cool stuff.
All right, so what he was saying is important, and we'll get to that. But the thing is that we missed one of the funniest parts of the movies. Is that's the dick thing. That come on.
Oh my gosh,
That's something that kids our age,
Oh
like when
my
I was
gosh.
a kid, that was not seen. That was kind of taboo, right? The dick.
It was
and
the
let me-
Michelangelo, the mini
yeah.
Michelangelo
And let me
statue, or whatever
explain
it
it.
was.
Let me explain this to you guys. There's a statue that they knock over, and it has a dick on it, of course, because it's a mini Michelangelo or something like that. It's
I don't
not
know.
the thinker.
He's
but-
got his dick hanging out. So they knocked the junk off this fucking statue.
Like
Right.
the mom?
I think anybody who's viewing and listening to the podcast, they know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
So
they throw the junk in the air. We didn't.
that
notice
was the thing that we noticed.
As an
Okay,
adult,
so
I noticed that.
all of a sudden, fucking, if you watch that one scene, Mikey's throwing the junk in the air and catching it. The junk of the statue. That was fucking cool.
As an adult, I noticed that. Yeah, he's throwing a dick and balls in the air.
He's fucking juggling dick and balls.
While the mom walks in, doesn't even fucking
Oh,
realize it.
shit, fucking
Didn't realize
hilarious.
what he's doing. He puts it behind his back, and then they hide it. Of course, we're
And then
back.
Chunk glues it upside down, and there's plenty of other fucking
Yeah.
content
And that's one of the
media
funniest parts
that talks
of the-
about all that bullshit.
That's a hilarious fucking part of the movie, because the simple fact that every one of us as kids have gotten in trouble. We've done something like that.
Right. I don't think, as a kid though, I didn't notice that he was tossing a dick and balls in the air. You know what? Well, okay, here's the thing that's hard, because we're talking about how we relate to films and how it relates to our time and our generation then versus now, and what I see in my kids and our. Here's the thing. So here's the thing. A group of, I'm not saying there's not a group of kids these days that would want to help their parents out.
If you're not, you're a fucking horrible kid. We're judging you. So go on.
So, I let's just face it. I think it's a very, very me centric society. Without getting political, very me centric.
It's a different time
right.
than it was in the 80s.
Right. Okay. Not only that. I think that it's very different to where the kids are going to be left alone that long to really get in that much trouble. Right? Yeah. We were all left alone that long. Mm-hmm. It was amazing. It's freaking great.
It was great.
Great.
I got so much
I got the scars to prove it. But I'm just saying. But at the same time, we're alive. The house didn't burn down, right?
The world didn't end.
The world didn't end. Here's certain things I know about movies in the 80s or our genre or from back then, okay? The Pretty Girl. Right?
Oh, he's getting into the Pretty Girl.
I'm just saying because there's a lot, there's a lot of different podcasts and a lot of different media content out there about Goonies and everything else. But I think that what's important to point out, you got the Pretty Girl, you got her friend.
Well, everyone had, like I said, everyone had their own place, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah.
We're going.
But here's the thing. The friend was, for some reason, and I think if you were to take a poll, less attractive than... You've got the friend, and you got the main character. The main character played this ditzy-ass, pretty-ass, rich-ass girl, right?
Well,
hanging out with a rich-ass douchebag.
What did I say throughout the movie?
Right.
What did I say throughout the movie?
Yeah.
You tell me. It's a typical 80s flick.
Typical 80s flick.
And that's what made it good.
This goes full circle what I'm saying and what
time.
makes a fucking movie good. But here's the okay. So the pretty girl all of a sudden had to play the piano because she had taken piano lessons.
Well,
but at the same
let's get
time
to
in the
that.
80s, that would have been an Ivy League 80s rich fucking
But let's get
girl
to
thing
that.
to do.
Let's get to that. What I'm saying is that there's one point in the movie, and we're not even halfway to that point in the movie yet. But there's one point with this, and we didn't even remember the pretty girl being the one that could play piano.
Yeah.
And it turns out she was. We remember the ugly girl.
But I know, right, that's what I'm saying. You could flip it around
It's almost
and just say...
Mandela effect.
Right, that's what exactly. That's what I was getting at was we had convinced ourselves, no, it was because of today's times. I think that's what... Here's the Mandela effect. You and I were convinced, and I think it's because...
We agreed.
We agreed that we remembered, and honestly, I pictured it in my head. Mm-hmm. I saw it in my head, and I can tell you that I honestly believed that it was the ugly girl played the piano because but beyond that, we had a conversation that it was the ugly girl because
before the scene happened
because of course it was the ugly girl because she had to contribute some way because she wasn't contributing to being pretty or whatever. Because this was the 80s. The reality was once we watched the film,
it was the pretty girl.
It was actually the
love interest. We say pretty girl, that's pretty fucked up. The love interest.
I found her more attractive than the other girl. Anyways, what I'm saying is it's so funny that in reality when we watched the film, it was actually the pretty girl. In my opinion, the pretty girl. Or the love interest.
The love interest.
That actually had to...
Do your hand signal. Love interest.
That actually had to reach down into her talents and hard work to build the bridge to get across, right?
But if you think about it, the thing is that was them showing that she's more than a pretty
hold on,
face.
If you ask people in certain belief systems today of whatever, they would say that they wouldn't make movies like that to where the love interest.
They wouldn't also put a fat kid out doing the truffle shuffle. This is a thing, okay, guys? We're going to be honest about this. This is the thing. There are so many things with this movie that would not fly with today's fucking standards.
Hell no.
Okay? Anyway, guys, the movie, honestly, I don't give a fuck. I still, as an adult, I love the movie.
Yeah.
You know? They're up in the attic. They find fucking One Eyed Willy's fucking... I said it. One Eyed Willy's... map.
Right.
And again, like I said,
it triggers something in them. It ignites something in them.
Let's talk about the characters.
Fuck.
Let's talk about the characters. You have Short Round, who is, of course, Data.
Well, today we say Data.
Fuck that.
Then it was Data.
Data. Say it with me. Data.
From Star Trek?
Like Star Trek. Oh my God. You want to talk about stereotypes? You want to talk about stereotypes?
And they got turned down because there's too many.
I say this character. I call him Short Round because he's the same character, and if you
character as Indiana Dr. Jones.
So if I'm wrong, let me know, guys. If we're wrong, let us know.
We're not wrong.
I don't think we're wrong. I'm pretty damn
Dr.
sure.
Dr. Jones. I told you. Yeah, 1984.
1984
was Temple of Doom. 1985 was the
Goonies. So,
we were talking about Gremlins with Corey Feldman. Corey Feldman was in Gremlins.
Because Corey Feldman was a Gremlin.
And there was a Gremlins reference in Goonies.
Yes,
by the sheriff.
There was.
And Corey Feldman's in Goonies, which is also a Spielberg fucking movie.
It's a fucking conspiracy. It's
Spielberg.
You don't know. You don't know. The next part is, of course, you got the guys. They meet the actual people who's trying to like the fucking devil guys. The guys who are trying to fucking take the houses. They're foreclosing. I can't talk. They are foreclosing.
Well, and I think this is where you actually get a little bit of an explanation of what's going on. Not a ton. And again,
but you get enough to know. You get enough to know what the movie's going with, like what's going on, right?
Sort of. Here's some papers.
Like what the
sign them.
Story.
And I think as kids and in our generation, and as when we saw that scene, we didn't think more in depth. Like, did an attorney see it? What stage in the fucking bankruptcy process or foreclosure process? Like, we didn't.
That's an adult thing. We were smart enough to know that.
So maybe
they
did do a good job of painting a picture of a situation where you got to give this paperwork to your mom or dad, and it means you got to fucking leave.
Money is owed.
Money is owed. Well, money is owed, or you got to get the fuck out. One or the other.
Remember?
Yeah, I know. Here's the thing with the way we can out I think that we can bounce around a little bit. I think that anybody that's watching and doing whatnot has seen this movie about 100 fucking times. If you're watching and you're watching this to see if you want to watch the movie,
watch the movie.
Watch the movie because we're gonna bounce around all over the fucking place.
Because there's gonna be
really
points
are.
where we're gonna be like, this and that.
Well, I mean, because I think that there's certain topics, like if you want to attack one subject, you can relate it to certain parts of the film. And if you haven't seen the film, you know, watch the film, watch all the other videos, watch all the other entertainment.
One Eyed Willy.
So we're going to try to go as chronologically in order as we can, but if we go off subject while we're on the chronological...
Please forgive us, we're drunk.
And then after we move off subject a bunch of times, we go back to where we were chronologically.
Forgive us, because we are intoxicated.
Because we're assuming that you have already watched the film 156 times like us.
If you haven't watched the film, let us tell you this. Watch the film. Watch the movie. Watch the fucking movie.
Then
stop right now on the podcast and watch the movie.
Just fucking forget it. Just don't. This movie was beyond its time.
Well, they made him a hero.
Like dysmorphic stuff, special needs, all that stuff.
Before we go any further, there's a character who is kind of disformed, who's a very kind of, he turns out to be a hero. He's kind of, at first he looks like he's kind of a scary guy, and then he turns out to be a hero. His name's Sloth, right?
Right.
And then Sloth chonk kind of thing, and he turns out to be a hero. I mean, he's a really cool character. In fact, you looked up who played him. Do you remember who played him?
Oh, I don't remember who played him.
It was a football player, and he died
4 years later. What I was saying was, I believe this film was beyond its years, where it
for tolerance.
Right, that's what I mean. Like it painted a picture of,
because you had a movie like Rain Man, who kind of did the same thing. If you think about it, they made
it's all about interpretation. But I think that this movie was machismo, like fucking like very much so. The guy who had a dysmorphia, he had an issue. For real, physically, mentally, emotionally, everything played a hero. He didn't just play a hero emotionally.
He started off as a bad guy, if you think about it.
Well, no, a potential bad guy.
The character started off as a bad guy because this particular character is a part of the family who's the bad guys in this. And of course they put...
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, he's related to the bad guys.
He's related to the bad guys, so you assume that he's a bad guy because he's put in the room with the kid, and the kid sees him as a bad guy. Well, they become, his name is Sloth, and he becomes a friend of this guy, and he's
deformed. He's got issues.
He's got this I know that I'm doing this to my face, but he's got this thing where his head is deformed.
He's got an eye down there. Whatever.
We actually get ahead of ourselves. We actually asked each other, was it a situation of he was physically abused?
Well, I mean, I think the movie. I truly believe the movie was fairly clear there when he's like, break, fuck. You want to say that's messed up that I say it that way? That's what he does. He goes, break.
Well, he says it. You can't. It's not messed up.
Just like that. Anyways, and she's like, I only dropped you once. Oh, but twice. And
maybe twice, yeah.
Yeah, she fucked him up.
Well,
it was awful. And he fucking almost kills his own mother.
Let's talk about that for a minute. Where his mom in the character, and again, we're going to head of ourselves. The Fratellis? Is that the
Fratelli? But I think that's why this character is so great. It shows self-defense.
There's growth.
It shows anger, but it shows grace. He still saves them. If you remember, at the end, Chunk's trying to go up under him, and he's like, "Oh, I love you too."
Well, if you think about it, it's very Hunchback of Notre Dame. You got this
very much so.
Yeah, you
actually,
got this character
yes, that's a very good point.
As everyone sees him as a monster, and he turns out to be the hero.
Yeah,
and that's another thing about the
very
80s.
Much so.
That's another thing about the '80s is that you got that going on where you expect this.
That was nostalgic. Well, way beyond nostalgic.
That's
an old story.
Shirt.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure.
And let's talk about before we go any further. Let's talk about the moments we didn't even notice as a kid. I didn't notice the points where there was like product placement, and this goes back to the hashtag because he had mentioned this.
I think that finding the map is fucking phenomenal because I think and it's explained early on. The dad is a curator. He studied everything, so any possible piece of information
It was up in
they
there.
could have. Oh, okay, well, it should have been up there. So all of a sudden they match up this piece of information with this piece of information and go, well, did anybody think about this possibility? And they go, and even his older brother goes, well, somebody must have. You know, we can't be the first people to think of blah, blah, X, Y, and Z.
Well,
and they go, bullshit, yes, we are.
goes to-
That's the adventure right there.
This
That's
goes to something.
boom.
This goes to something you said during when we were watching this. Mouth is actually more important than intended.
Just the smart-assy slapstick.
Mouth, of course, is Corey Feldman, and he's this smart-assy kind of goofy fucking weirdo kind of guy, and he is relied upon like big time, right? What'd you say?
Well, I mean, the whole Latin, oh, can you read Latin? Is it like Spanish? Blah, 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 whatever, freaking map bullshit, right?
Yeah, which is very cool.
Yeah. And it comes in handy. And I think, and that goes to your point of what you had said at one point was every character starts to develop on their own.
Yeah, every character has their own development, which means everyone is important in their own way.
Mikey's older brother is Mikey's older brother the entire time, right? You know what I mean?
And we'll get to that right now, actually. Go ahead.
Oh, no, but Mikey is Mikey. Data is always trying to improve things, can have his inventions.
He's the invention.
Mouth is...
He's the Donatello, more or less.
Yeah, Mouth is artsy, creative, smart. And here's the thing that, like, when you think of his character, like, instinctively, you don't think smart. You think
Smart
you
ass.
think smart ass. Blah, blah, but he speaks Spanish.
Yeah.
He identifies shit. He reads music. You know what I mean? Like, what does this know? What does this say? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's fucking incredible. The pretty girl or the sex interest.
Which he calls it pretty girl. I call it love interest.
Anyway.
It's the 80s. She's the fucking
So anyways,
hot.
she's the one that can all of a sudden read music. I think that was say the pretty girl can be smart. The pretty girl can read music. The pretty girl can save the day.
It might.
Or the love interest, the cheerleader.
she's
the
more-
cheerleader.
she's
She's
more
more than her
valuable
look.
than you
right?
think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, she's
I think
more
that's what that was. So the film was ahead of its time for there. What other characters am I missing here?
Well, we got
Chuck.
Chunk,
fucking
who's
Chunk.
he's the.
Oh,
let's be honest.
Shit.
Chunk is
He
the
made the
fucking
movie.
comic relief.
Oh yeah, him and Mouth made the fucking movie.
They're the comic relief.
Oh damn, they're just insane.
There's those Chunk and Sloth are the two that make the movie. They're the ones that literally save the day at the end.
Let me ask you something because this has been a drunken cast, right?
Okay, yeah.
Let me ask you something. If you had to sum up what the Goonies means to you, or did for you, or is as a movie, in just a few words, how would you define the Goonies?
Hey, you guys! That's what I would define the Goonies as. Honestly, the Goonies would be Chunk and Sloth.
Yeah.
Honestly, the fact that and of course it's sad because Chunk is actually the one that gets lost. He's the one that's forgot about. And then he kind of goes on his own little adventure as apart from the original adventure. You know, you think about it.
He
almost
does
like a Lord of the
actually.
Rings kind of
yeah,
thing. If you
he
think about
actually.
it.
Wow, I never put that together.
See?
That's
So
very,
it's a-
very true. Fuck you, Lord of the Rings.
Fuck you, Lord of the Rings. It's almost like
Even
a,
the book was written way before the book.
yeah, seriously. So you got almost a Lord of the Rings kind of thing, where he kind of goes on his own adventure and he finds Sloth. He finds his own Frodo.
You're right.
You know,
Right. He does. So, but it is a Lord of the Rings type.
It's a very
story.
Lord.
You know what I mean?
And I think maybe that's
like
what.
okay, like when the two fucking hobbits go this way to the fucking nature and the tree, right? You know what
And
I'm
then
talking
you got the
you got the fucking Frodo over fucking
the
here.
Fellowship going this other
Right,
direction.
right.
So maybe that's what makes it so good.
And if you think about it, even though the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit storyline in general was fucking amazing, right? As a book, when you think about the storyline as it comes to films, to top or relate to a story like the Goonies, from a cinematic standpoint, you had to make a film like The Lord of the Rings.
Well, before we go
fucking
any further, okay, let me tell you this. You had movies like Stand By Me. Okay? You had movies like The Sandlot.
Sandlot's after.
You have movies like that, okay? Do you think movies like that would have happened without the Goonies? Let me ask you that. Stand By Me was released
And that was
after
another Feldman movie.
And that was another Corey Feldman movie. So there you go. You have Stand By Me that was released after the Goonies. Goonies was the premise. Was for all of these movies that had
How
to do
the
with,
fuck was really?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
you have movies like Stand By Me. You have movies like The Sandlot. And I'm sure I'm missing
Sandlot's 90s though.
But still, my point is that these movies were based on coming of age.
Well, the coming of age, initiation of men and adolescence. Yeah,
Exactly. I think that the Goonies was one of those things, like it was the grandfather of things. You know, you got the Goonies. You got.
I think it was the cool kid on the art, and I think that. Well, here's the thing: if you relate it to, well, you can't really relate it to how movies and shows are released today. I think that
It's hard.
if you remember how it was released back then, a movie was released, but you didn't know what type of cult following it would get.
No,
You had no idea.
And movies like
You had people that had faith in certain characters and certain actors, like Feldman, Gremlins, Stand By Me. For What's This Funk, for Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom.
Temple of Doom, then The Goonies.
And then of course,
The Goonies,
the
and
Lost
then-
Boys.
Lost Boys. When you're strange, faces come out of the rain. When you're strange, no one remembers your name. When you're strange, when you're strange, when you're strange. So let's take it like this, okay? So let's, like I said,
Where did we get off?
Here's the thing. Assuming that everyone knows the film, right? Assuming that you've watched the fucking film. If this is, like I said the first, go back and fucking watch it. Let's take it. They get there, $50 bill, $50 bill, $50 bill, right?
Well, before
they get to the basement.
They get to the basement of this place. Well, let's talk about the places in that video, in that movie that we want to watch. We would, as kids, love to visit.
Well, we Googled it. Sorry, the restaurant isn't a real place.
No.
You can't visit it.
Well, it's a place, but it's gone. It's
gone.
Nowhere.
You can't visit it. You can visit Astoria.
Yeah.
The
story is a real place.
Yeah.
The story, and this guy goes, story, like
They're from
he thought
Astoria.
it was a fake place. Well, we looked it up, and it really is a story. So it's a real place.
So yeah. Right, you can visit all that bullshit, right? So, but here's the thing: we always like, man, I always wanted to visit that fucking restaurant or that fucking thing. I'm like, I want to go to the place where they
the restaurant where they drink that brown water. Right?
Ew, fucking gross. So and this goes to again the adolescence and the fucking fearless heart of fucking boys that are looking for an initiation, right? Is they are told to leave. His brother even finds them. Mm-hmm. They come back
towards the end.
Right.
Yeah, towards the end of that.
A couple bullshit things happen. They have to go back inside. They go back inside, right? They find a fucking old money printing press. The one kid's like, $50 bill. $50 bill. I found $50 bill. Money. This is what I think makes this film. He says, hey, do you remember the water tank breaks because Chunk breaks it, right? Like I said, I'm assuming you guys have fucking seen it. You hear the water dripping. They find a secret passageway. This is what makes boys and men and adolescents. To this day, if I found a secret passageway,
I'd fucking go down there.
oh, dude. A secret passageway?
This is the
Oh,
question.
my God, I go right now.
Would you, the
Would you,
listener,
oh, they
go
all,
down
they
a secret
all would.
passageway?
Get the fuck out of here. You
Nowadays,
would.
I know I
You
would.
would.
I
Get
would.
Fuck out of here. You would.
Just out of curiosity,
A
right?
cavern, a cave, a fucking treasure map. Get the fuck out. If you had half a fucking treasure map that you couldn't Google It existed nowhere. You found it. You followed it for 2 fucking seconds. You followed it for that 2 fucking seconds. You got there. It led to something like a fucking underground fireplace.
Not even
fucking
2 seconds.
cave.
Not even
Get
2
the
seconds.
fuck out.
They went out of their way. They went into the
They
point
did.
where
They did.
put
But what I'm
themselves in
saying
harm's
is
way.
right. But if you today, right? Because the first thing you're gonna do when you find someone is fucking Google that shit and everything. But if you could follow something and you'd be like, whoa, and it led to something, you're boom. I think that's what this world is missing. Let's not get into that. But that's what, like, for our generation.
Magic. It's that magic.
For our
I
generation.
think the new generation is missing that magic.
Oh,
and then
man.
that's not a bad thing. It's not the bad thing to talk about.
I think it's fucking horrible they're missing that magic. It's an amazing thing that instilled.
That need to adventure. Because how many times as a kid...
You know what I think? Yeah, I think the new generation thinks everything's been discovered already. Everything's on Google.
I agree.
You can search it on Google Maps. There's a street view. I can look it up online. There's somebody else that's done that. I can just look it up. Fuck that anymore. I think we're part of the last generation that goes, I'm going to watch an entertainment, not Google an entertainment. I'm going to watch a fictional, we accepted that was a fictional story of something that we would want to do. And I think that today, and we don't have to dive down this rabbit hole, the difference is today, people think that wouldn't really happen. I'll just fucking Google it. Someone probably already looked into it. And, it's fucking fake.
To an extent, like, look at it like this.
I mean...
Would you believe the Goonies? Or would you, like, the Goonies happening? Or would you believe something like Stranger Things?
Fucking Stranger... I fucking love... But Stranger Things has so... Dude, we got to do another show on Stranger...
Again,
Stranger Things has so much influence of Stand By
But my
Me,
point,
Goonies...
Again, yes, but my
Silent
point is,
Hill, Poltergeist, Alien...
But my point is this.
God, what else? I mean, there's so many different influences.
In reality, which would you believe would happen the most?
E.T.
Which would happen the most? Like, in reality, what would you think?
Goonies.
Goonies, of course.
Goonies. That's what I'm saying. That's, I think, what makes it... Well, I mean, maybe magical is the wrong word. It's a realistic thing where you go... Like I was saying, you go to the attic, you go here, and it's a... This could really happen. And you know what? Actually, I take it back now. Well, I don't take it back. If Goonies was to be rebooted, I believe it would be a series, not a movie.
No, it would definitely be like...
I think it would be a Netflix series.
Something like that.
And I would think it would have that type of storyline is, I found this, there's no information online.
Have you?
So if they are going to have to watch a Netflix film to get it, or a reboot of the Goonies, if it were to happen, I'm going to get goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah.
It has to be realistic to the point to where there's no internet, there's no cell signal, there's no outreach to the fake fucking world of what the internet tells you is true. No influence. Other than there was a story about it. You read a story.
They can't have access to outside world.
Yeah, it's got to be as simple as someone said something about One Eyed Willy, blah blah blah, 1985. Okay, blah blah blah. Yeah, that's it. No, and then you find
get
something
down there and nothing.
No other information.
No cell sign.
Yes, nothing. Because now we're skipping that. No, we could write this. We could write a fucking
very well could.
So what I'm saying, so if it was to be a rehash, I'd be okay with one of the Goonies, not a sex interest, but one of the Goonies being a girl. And whatever fucking... I don't give a fuck what race you make. I mean, because we don't give a shit.
No.
But if you were to rehash it, I welcome... Make whoever... Gay, straight, white, black, girl, I don't give a fuck. As long as you attack and spearhead that need for adventure. As long as the storyline and plot targets that adventure and fire of young people everywhere to the internet. Oh, the internet doesn't have information. It's a map. It was never found before. How fucking rad would that show like that be?
If it's mysterious.
That mystery has to be there.
That mysterious is what's important.
Exactly.
If we don't know about what it is, it's the fear of the unknown.
You know what? I think this is our favorite, like, off-topic rant, like, whatever vertical of this podcast, because I think that if we were to stay too on track with what this movie was about, what this, I think that there's so many other podcasts and so many other things that covered it. Like, no one covers what it could mean if you rehashed it. What did it mean to our generation? What does it mean to do what? You know what I mean? No one does that.
Now that we said it, it's gonna happen.
Just like when we called out that Big Trouble Little China bullshit.
Well,
we
Big
did.
Trouble in Little China. We called out the Disney fucking
Creed.
Yep.
We called out Creed. We called that shit out.
For that, we got this going on.
One Eyed Willy.
One Eyed Willy.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, without patting our own backs, the movie is amazing. What would you give the movie?
Oh my gosh! I think that
watching it tonight as an adult, man. Even watching it tonight as a grown ass adult.
9 out of 10 because they made the Asian kid sound Asian, and that's racist.
Dr. Jones.
To sound like you're foreign if you're a foreign character.
No, but seriously, all seriously. If you could give it like a rating now as opposed to when you were a kid,
it would still be a 10. And I'm not saying that because, you know what? That's simply based on if I was an outsider looking in on this fucking subject matter. Dude, they play it perfect. Like the attic, the map, the this, the that, the getting away from the brother, the bad guys, the getting, dude.
Yeah.
And it's so not unnecessarily overly fucking sold. It's a very realistic thing that you or I 25, 30 years, I was going to say 15 years ago, but
no, that's way too fucking short, dude. We still can't. We're still too fucking.
We're still fucking So we were alive when the movie was made. We were able to watch the movie when it came out.
We were young when the movie.
But what I'm saying is we're do the math. The movie was released in '85.
Yeah.
It's 2018.
I was born in '79.
Yeah.
So. And I was like 5, 6 years old. So that movie was magical to me. You guys don't
Oh,
understand.
it's fucking magical.
It's
like Labyrinth.
Who doesn't,
fucking Princess Bride.
Exactly. Who doesn't wish they went on this kind of adventure? And not even
I'm pissed off that life didn't end up that way. I'm gonna fucking start a campaign.
Yeah, fuck you, life.
Yeah, fuck you
for fucking us over.
Fuck you, life.
We thought there would be much more.
Fuck you, life. Fuck you.
Fuck you, life.
Fuck you.
So
fuck you.
And this is not even the. So let's get to the end. You have Sloth, who turns out to be the hero. You got Chunk,
right,
who turns out to be the hero, going on their own Lord of the Ring adventure on the side. Right? With a rocky road. Road. And you got that going on. Baby Ruth. And you got baby. You got that going on, which
is that movie did so much. Even to where it's talking about even forgiveness.
Even mentally disabled people can be heroes. That's what showed it. It was one of the first movies I don't
know if that's politically correct or not.
Politically correct or not.
It's a joke.
It's true.
I'm talking.
It's true.
I mean, I'm joking. With
even
mentally
disabled people.
I think what it was showing was how much forgiveness there was too. Because I mean, there was the brothers and the mother who fucked them up. He holds the rock open so Chunk and his friends can get out, right? Mm-hmm. And then he could have left, but he sees his mom and his brothers, even though they. And I think they made it clear by that point in the movie. At the very end of the movie. Because he threw his mom over and everything, that they fucked him up and he was pissed at them and he thought they deserved to die. Well, but yet he stayed behind.
We talked about this.
That's why he's a hero.
We talked about this. We talked about... Now, was he born mentally disabled?
No, she fucked him up. No, she dropped him more... And I think that the way they hint to it is she didn't just drop him. That's what she admits to doing.
Yeah.
But I think they let you use your imagination. Like, he's like, break, fall. You know what I mean? Like, it makes you, and goes back to the times, it makes you like, yeah, fucking kill her ass.
It's one of
those, kidding me? She screwed you up like that? Kill her. But he doesn't. He doesn't.
It's one of those moments in a movie, and a lot of movies do this. Where they give you, the viewer, the chance
to make your own.
Kind of make your own story.
They made the Goonies, and I think that, generally speaking, my opinion is you can look at Chunk, you can look at sloth. You can look at his forgiveness. You can say there's a well-rounded lesson
no forgiveness
there.
because he's a good guy in general. You just didn't know he was a good guy. You found out he was.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying is there's no but someone could look at this and go, this is really offensive to people with special needs.
And again, this is where I started. I told this guy when we started watching this, I said, this is one of those situations where this is one of those movies that won't fly these days.
How about just letting the audience decide? Right?
Well, that's what they did.
That's what they did.
That's
Let the
what they
audience
did.
decide.
And that's
Let a writer be a writer. Let a storyteller be a story. Dude, remember when we were in storytelling? Fucking love storytelling. Dude.
He's talking about high school. We did a horse.
Oh shit, man! To this day, I love storytelling, man. I'll get in a
Miss
crowd in front of
Evil,
1,000.
We won't say her name, but
dude, I'll get in a crowd of 2,000 people, and I will fucking tell a story. I fucking love storytelling.
Yeah,
dude, it's great, dude. I fucking love story. That's what you do on a podcast. And you remember before there was video and shit, you had to tell the story. You had to get
Audio,
your point.
yeah.
So
Just
that's what makes
out,
that's what, yeah,
humbly.
exactly. So
guys, like this, there's so much to this. And by the way, hashtag is over there asleep. Just so you know. Yeah, go ahead, show him. He's over there snoring. Show him. Guys, the show, honestly, it's one of those things that you interpret it for yourself. We love it because we grew up with it, and it was innocent, and it was great, and it was all this other stuff. You can go, and you got those other channels that are like, oh, you put this, that, and this together, and fucking Corey Feldman's gay. It doesn't matter.
Oh, sure.
My point is that no matter what, you just look at it for what it is, dude. It was beautiful.
It's an awesome movie. It's a coming of age. It's coming to their own.
What would you give it?
The movie is a 9.9 solid or 10.
It's a 9.5 for me.
The only thing that can make stars go away is a one. Okay,
The bad acting.
Well,
let's talk about the bad.
It's not even about the bad acting. Here's the thing. What I love about the movie is it's realistic, but when the little cartoony thing happens, and it's only a couple times,
What's
like
cartoony?
when Dada pulls out his thing and he goes boing, and he goes, boing,
They
like-
do that. Well, that's a Steven Spielberg thing. If you think about it.
You know what? But it's not Indiana Jones.
But it's in.
It's not a fucking Gremlin.
It's in Gremlins. You can't deny.
Well, but that's because the Gremlins themselves.
It's a cartoony show.
Yeah, it goes with a gremlin, not with a real person, though.
Exactly.
A real person didn't walk out the door and go bang.
Well,
You know what I mean? Like,
look at Gremlins 2. Okay, Gremlins 2 was
Gremlins.
extremely
I
bad.
fucking love Gremlins 2.
But we'll do a podcast.
Oh,
on
we gotta
Gremlins
do
2.
because people. It's
That'd
either
be
you love it or
like
hate
a Christmas thing.
Oh,
We'll do
elite
that.
people love it or hate it. I fucking love
Oh,
Gremlins 2.
Gremlins. Oh,
Do you like
1
Gremlins
and
2?
2 is amazing.
Dude, I
We'll get
fucking
to that.
love Gremlins 2.
And let's get to the end where, the Hispanic chick saves the day.
I think this is the one. Well, there's two, and I think it's the endings.
Yeah.
There's only a few issues we have with this movie, and I'm not gonna get into details of because his shoes wouldn't have worked that way. Yeah, it would have actually fallen and blah blah. I'm not getting into those type of details.
Yeah.
But certain things that, if we say this is kind of a thing that's realistic as far as an adventure story, a couple things don't make sense, and I think they peek out at the end there. One is the fucking pirate ship.
What's the pirate ship?
Okay.
Now,
why are the sails fucking working?
Let's get to this.
They're fucking
You got
400
the sails
years old.
working. There's an
Or a
working
90-degree
anchor.
fucking turn.
How old does rope have to be before it starts to grate?
What had happened in the beginning of the film? Mouth had to what for the housekeeper? Translate, right?
Translate.
Even though he fucking translated wrong, and it was funny as fuck. They never hinted that she understood or knew anything that was ever going on. I think this is our one biggest quarrel with the fucking film, right? At the end, she opens the marble bag and says, and like, what is she saying?
Adios mio.
Adios, man. Don't write. Don't pen.
Don't
pen.
pen.
Don't sign.
Don't sign. Yes.
Well, fine if
How
Mouth
does
can't.
she
Well, if
fucking
he can't understand
know?
her Spanish is one thing, but why does she know? How does she know?
She doesn't know what's fucking going on in the
If
fucking
she doesn't-
movie. How
Right,
does she fucking
exactly.
know
They
what's
make
going
it
on?
They make it a point to point out that she's super, super foreign. No matter what foreign she is.
This is the one thing we said that we broke. We broke the Goonies.
Why is she saying don't sign? She's
not.
the housekeeper.
Now,
she doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
Now, you, the viewer, might be going, well, you guys might be going too far with this because it's a movie. Guys, it is a movie, but it should make sense. And yes, we love it. Don't take that away from it. We love it. We love this movie.
Mouth was the only one interpreting for her, and he was back in the fucking caves the whole time. So no one was explaining to her that they were being bought out.
But if there's one complaint, if there's one thing that would break this movie.
And why did he take so long to sign? Like, ooh, how do I do this?
Yeah. How do I sign it?
How do I sign it?
If there's one thing
how do I sign it?
that would break this movie, that would be it. Come on, guys. You cannot deny that. If this movie was real, that would break it.
Right. If this movie was real, let's pretend that, because if the movie was real, you could pretend that there's this rare occasion that everything was kind of believed could possibly happen, but
that point
somehow she understood English, understood what was going on around her. They brought her to the beach. Why did they bring her? She's a housekeeper. Why did they bring her to an emergency situation on the beach?
She made that
and she understands fucking English. She understands what was going on. She understands the formality of everything that's going on. Don't sign it, because she understood that by signing that, I'm pissed off. This is the one thing that can and call bullshit.
We're going really deep.
Well, no, I don't think it's that deep to say that she didn't understand shit, and that doesn't make sense. I don't think we're going too deep for that. What I'm saying is, if we go as deep as how do you know the jewels are real? How do they know that fucking pirate ship and everything on it was real? Like, so I can't go that far.
Well, that explains itself. Honestly, that's bullshit, because that explains itself. Because at the beginning of the movie, they found the fucking the map and stuff. Everything up until that.
And you're right. So how does she know? Oh, and in fact, how does she know they were looking for treasure? How does she know those are rubies? How do they know they're jewels? How does she know they'll fucking make them rich? How do they? These are worth money. These are worth money. Don't sign. I'm like, this is it. Yeah.
The end breaks the Goonies.
The end.
And the end is
breaks
honestly, again, this doesn't change our point of view on the movie. It's a great movie, but honestly,
it's the biggest. It's to us, if you were to, because everything else could cosmos like fall into place.
I'm sure there's a bunch of people that can go this, that, and the other thing is a problem.
It could, yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that could be a problem, but not. You can't throw as many wrenches in the gears of possibility as you can. Yeah.
Until the end.
Yeah. She knows what rubies look like. She knows all of a sudden she knows there was treasure.
They're talking about.
She knows what they were talking about. She knows not to sign, and she's there for some reason. The ending is phenomenal. It's a happy ending. It's great. I just wish they would explain why she's there, how all of a sudden she knew what was going on, and how she knew how to say don't sign.
This is what gets me.
I mean, come on.
Here you have a fucking pirate ship that's how much money?
Oh, billions. A genuine fucking pirate ship.
It's sailing into the fucking distance with... What? How much?
A pirate ship with jewels and gold at the bottom of an ocean is worth billions.
Motherfucker, I would be out there in a fucking boat, getting that pirate ship right fucking quick, just to get the rights for that bitch.
Oh, fuck.
I know it sounds like I'm a dick, but would you?
Oh yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. That's a lot of money. Fuck you, Sean Austin. You fucked up. Guys, we want to thank you for listening and watching us. Appreciate you guys continuously watching us. Let me go ahead and whore out this guy's podcast.
Jim Rant. TheJimRant.com. Yep.
Good guy.
Yep.
Funny ass fucking podcast. Anyway, guys, we want to thank you for watching. We thank you for listening. We thank you for everything, guys. You know what? We appreciate your views. Stay nerdy.
Always.